And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. After a couple of weeks of hiatus, we have returned here with the World Team League with WTL 2023 Summer. Code S round number 9. We're nearing the end of the group stage, the end of the round robin portion of this tournament, and we have quite a lot of matches still remaining. They're very important matches. I'm, of course, your host, Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the one, the only, the casting cat himself, the AsherBro.
Yo, I'm ready for the ZVP gauntlet.
Oh, always, Papi, always. Let's go, Papi, let's go. As I mentioned before, Asher, we only have a couple of matches remaining. We only have a couple of games left here in WTL, and as a result, like, it's gonna get harder and harder to squeeze your way into that top 7, into that playoff bracket.
Yeah, just 3 weeks remaining here. It looks like we do have a pretty close battle for those last, particularly the 6 and 7 spots. The Starving Camels, Shopify, Plat Heroes, Psystorm, Starlight Twinkle, all around the same sort of area there, fighting for that 6 and 7 spot between those 5 teams. And I think it's going to be a very close battle in the last few weeks to see who's going to break through out of those teams.
Oh yeah, 100%. And part of that is going to be one of these matches, you know. Starlight Twinkle, they may be in 10th spot right now, in 10th place, but it is technically possible for them to make it into the top 7 if they win every single match moving forward. But this is going to be a very tight match, very tough match, because they're going to be going up against Team ABYDOS.
Yeah, ABYDOS have been doing really well. I will point out, though, I think they have... this isn't necessarily their strongest possible lineup. We have had Cure being absent for quite a few weeks now, despite playing recently in various things. It looks like he's still not quite up to joining back to the World Team League.
Yeah, I'm curious. I hope that he's able to recover in time for the playoffs. I was shocked to see him actually competing in ESL Masters Summer despite his condition. I know Mondo was in the chat earlier letting us know that he had been, in hospital. And I assumed that he had gotten COVID or something. But I don't know if you were watching, but in the player shots, Kira was actually wearing a sling. He was wearing a sling and he was actually playing with I don't know what it was, if it was an injury to his hand or to his arm or something, but there seems to be some kind of injury going on. And clearly ESL Masters Summer is a big enough event for him to try and compete in that, but at least in the online events he's still recovering.
Actually, I didn't have a look. I'm gonna check it right now, actually. I'm not sure if he played in the GSL qualifiers.
Ooh.
Have a little look. It looks like he didn't.
Did he get seeded in? Or...
Oh, yeah, he probably did, didn't he?
Yeah, because I think he got top 4.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, we're good. Because of that, whether it's in individual leagues or even in team leagues like this, he has been absent. He hasn't been in the Kung Fu Cups or the ESL Cup Asias or anything else, or even here in WTL. So it does mean that for the time being anyway, ABYDOS have to try and compete and do well without their ace player.
Holy crap, bit of a sidetrack. Sorry, but
Go ahead.
Australia did so well in the GSL qualifiers. I didn't say that at all.
Yeah.
He beat Special, Dark, and Ryung to come out top side of his bracket.
Yeah, I remember seeing him beat Dark, and I was smoosh to all the other players in the lower bracket, because Dark eventually made it through, but he had to tear through a lot of players as a result. But that was really good. That was really good from Australia. Really good.
Yeah, that's actually insane. That's so cool. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We do have a game ahead of us, and in the bottom right-hand corner here of Grassvan, it is a Cham for the Starlight Twinkle.
And in the top left-hand corner for Team ABYDOS, it is Nightmare.
So, this I think is going to be a pretty close match between these two players. Cham, I don't know if he's just that much better now or if he gets some kind of buff when he plays World Team League, but he's very strong.
Yeah, like Cham has definitely been putting in a lot of work for his team, especially in the absence of Spirit. Cham, he's been, putting in fighting as hard as he can in a lot of these matches, and I agree. I think even though on paper Nightmare is still like the favorite player overall, like in a best of series, in a best of two, Cham, he can take a game, he can maybe take a 2-0. Like he is someone not to underestimate.
Yeah, 100%. And his style can be a little bit tricky for people who haven't played him much before.
Hmm.
On the other hand, Nightmare is a player who's been, I think on average, he hasn't changed too much in the last few years, but his peaks have gotten higher, is
Hmm.
something that I've noticed. When he pops off, he's popping off hard. He is doing really, really well in some of these bigger tournaments.
Yeah, there's something about Nightmare. It's like every couple of weeks, maybe once a month or something, he just comes in and he either performs insanely well in an offline event or even a weekly tournament or something. He just turns it on. Unfortunately, it's not something that he can do like too consistently. He's got to like charge back up, every couple of weeks. But yeah, he can look terrifying. Especially in PvP, especially against Terran player in PvTs, like he's been looking pretty damn good. So yeah, keep an eye out for Nightmare. He could be a good, maybe even a replacement ace here for Cure in his absence. But against Zerg, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, Nightmare has some very interesting strengths. He's an extremely fast player, I have noticed. So
Mm,
that is something that I think it's not going to be a huge advantage versus Cham. Cham's quite fast as well and is very good at multitasking and setting up big surrounds. It's very fluid all across the map. Just kind of
mm.
very good at reacting to where his opponent's army is and creating insanely good fights for himself. So I don't think that's going to be a big advantage for Nightmare. I just think they're really well matched.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Nightmare can potentially have a bit of an advantage here in the early game when it comes to like the initial maybe Oracle and Adept harass. We have seen a lot of Protoss players like Classic, like Hero, even at times Nightmare get a lot of damage done early on. But no, hold that thought because I assumed that there would be Oracles on the map. We have a Void Ray first.
Very interesting, especially on a big open map like this. I don't think this is going to lead into full Sky Toss like a 2 Stargate or anything like that. But Nightmare can be pretty tricky. I could see this leading into potentially Glaives or Charge Attack.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see Glaives behind us, and there it is. A very fast Twilight Council is thrown down. The goal of this this Void Ray is to deny the Overlord scout. And there we go. The first Overlord is going to be hunted down. We have a second one at the natural base, but it is very unlikely for Cham to slip on in. So Nightmare is going to be looking to be quite committed. As soon as the Void Ray shows itself, by the way, Cham throws down a Roach Warren.
Yeah, okay. That's fascinating. That's a really good response there. So looks like Cham is aware that this is potentially going to be transitioning into Twilight Council. So I love that safety Roach Warren instead of going for the normal Stargate timing. At the same time, we do have Nightmare throwing down some extra gates, and okay, it is after all going to be Glaives, and that Stargate only going to be making the Void Ray, so no extra Oracles or anything like that. Not really going to try to sell it past just pushing all the Overlords back.
Yeah, exactly. So now we are aware of what Nightmare is up to. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count and see how hard he commits. We do have a third Nexus being thrown down, but I believe that's just really to throw Cham off the scent, as roaches are already being produced, and Nightmare is doubling down. He's throwing down a Dark Shrine.
I like it. I like it a lot. This is a very clever way to do this. I can see this working well because I think Cham, as he does have to react to this a little bit later than you normally might for a normal Glaives build, I feel like it's pretty unlikely that his lair is going to be at a crisp time. Just because he's focusing so much on holding this attack.
Yeah, like he's investing so much gas into these roaches. There we go. The lair has begun, thankfully, so he will have access to detection momentarily. Before that happens, Cham is looking to be active at least with his lings on the map. There we go. The roaches are welling out as well. The first Void Ray is going to slow them down, but the queens are coming alongside them.
Oh, I did not expect this. Okay, so I thought Cham was reading this very well, but looks like Cham's read this as maybe a 2 Stargate or something. He's actually read this as greed and is going for a anti-Stargate attack.
Yeah, exactly. And as a result, he's going to be pushing into a pretty large army. I mean, these Adepts, they won't fare the best against these roaches, to be fair. But we have 3 shield batteries already thrown down. We're going to have an overcharge as well. Like, Nightmare is very well prepared for this, or as best he can.
Yeah, I like the way that the batteries are staggered back so he can fall back to those as they get taken out. He is going to be committing the shade as well, just in case this army tries to get away and it starts dying. But Cham's doing a really good job just threatening with the Lings, making sure these adepts can't get too out of control. Oh, but the
Yeah, but
DTs have shown.
yeah, the defensive DTs, they do clean up the majority of the roaches, the majority of the queens. As you were saying, they do reveal themselves. So, and the lair is done. So Cham should be working on detection as we speak. I'm a little bit concerned. I don't think I saw an overseer on the way. So I don't actually know if Cham noticed those DTs. Oh,
No,
no,
I don't think he did, and there we go. He should notice it right now. So we immediately see an overseer getting started up. That is the first that he's going to know of it, and there are no spores either. And he's already on a really low drone count. This is pretty disastrous for him.
Exactly. Sport, the third base is going to be focused down as well. So DTs are going to be able to wreak havoc in between the bases. Overseer is now done. But by this point, it's already too little too late. 6 workers go down. The third is under threat. The hatchery itself is getting quite low. But Cham should be able to hold on to it.
Yeah, looks like Nightmare is going to retreat with those adepts, try to keep his units intact behind this. Just going into Blink from here, he could potentially throw down a Robo as well. We have seen a lot of players going for Colossus pushes off glaive attacks like this. MaxPax especially has been very fond of it lately.
Yeah, exactly. And it may be that's what Nightmare is going for. I mean, he's pretty far ahead at this point. Like, he's ahead of the workers. He has his third base well saturated as well. He has a bunch of adepts which don't scale too well as the game goes on, but I don't really think he's in any kind of threat of dying anytime soon.
Yeah, that's right. And great movement with those adepts is just going to use those to push the Lings away. Robo is going to be going down as well as the fourth base here, so Nightmare just looking to progress along, and I think that makes a lot of sense. This map is a map where I think generally the way that most pros are playing it, more macro-heavy styles, but trying to keep a bit of momentum, trying to skirmish on the map wherever they can.
Yeah, exactly. And with that fourth base, Nightmare should be able to pull that off, especially once he gets his Robo out, once he gets his Prism out as well. Until then, it's going to be on Cham to try to bounce back in this. He's been droning quite heavily ever since Nightmare backed off, but we don't really have any additional tech. We don't have any additional Evo chambers, so no upgrades. So I say that +1 melee has begun, so we do see that Cham is working at least towards that.
I wonder if the flying units in Stormgate are going to drift like in StarCraft. Because I like the way that the Void Rays drift.
Yeah?
Yeah, it kind of works because they've got the little leash as well, so they just like they slide and shoot.
Right, there's no handbrake like for like a full stop, you know? It's just
Yeah. It's not even like a Oracle or like a Banshee or something, where it's kind of you have to time it right. It just slides. Smooth.
You've been playing a lot with Void Rages recently, haven't you?
No, I actually haven't made any Void Rays at all. I've been playing Blink Oracle. Anyway, another base is going to be going down. Nightmare with a very successful attack here with the Blink Stalkers. He was pretty far ahead, and he is looking to turn that into the win here. But he is taking quite a lot of damage on these Stalkers. He needs to try to get out of there now that the shields are low and not take too much hull damage.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to get the hatchery. A lot of workers, 27 drones going down, as I believe we have some harassment going on in the main base as well. The Oracle, sorry, even Adepts going ham. And now Cham is all in. Now he has to end the game with what he has, and he's being slowed down as he pushes out across the map. So far, the Blinks have been good for Nightmare.
Yeah, great micro from Nightmare. Just making this move across the map as costly as possible for Cham. Cham losing so many of his roaches before he even gets there, and it'll be a pretty simple hold for Nightmare. GG is called. First win is on the board.
GG, well played. Nightmare with a solid execution of his build. Not just an execution, but also a good reaction as well as to what Cham was doing, as Cham was committing into his own all-in as a reaction to seeing that initial Void Ray. And as you mentioned, Cham maybe just misreading the situation. I think we both assumed that he was getting ready for an Adept or a Twilight Council-based counterattack, but no, he was going for his own push instead, and that, in a way, kind of played into what Nightmare was going for, especially with those DTs.
Yeah, it looks like he did just misread the situation slightly, but Nightmare as well doing a really good job respecting and probably getting those 3 shield batteries. So yeah, definitely not underestimating the push of Cham, and it pays off pretty well for him.
Oh yeah, Really does, really does. And with that, ABYDOS will take game number 1. Nightmare will take game 1, but we still have a second game ahead of us, a game where Cham will be able to, sit into that driver's seat. It is going to be his map pick, of course, and with that, he can kind of pick the staging ground. He could go for a larger map like Altitude. He could go for something small as well like Neo Humanity. It is all on Cham.
Yeah. 100% going to be Neo or Altitude. I think it's going to be... I think Neo. He has picked Altitude a lot, but I think with the way that he was playing that last one, Neo would make a lot of sense. Just because I feel like once the game dragged on a little bit and Nightmare had more room to work, even though he was ahead, he did look a bit more confident out of the map as well.
Yeah, definitely. So if Cham wanted to go for a bit of a timing attack, a bit of an aggressive push early on, Neo Humanity would be very good for that, especially with that center base. I can hear what you're saying about Altitude, about how Cham and maybe going into something like Mutas. We don't see it too often against Protoss, but whenever we do, it looks really good, or it can look really good. But we'll see. We'll see what Cham picks as. Oh, it is Altitude.
Okay, so Cham going to be backing himself here. Going for the largest map, and that does give him a lot of room to work with things like Mutas, as you were saying, or even just his usual Lingbane Ravager style. I think can be very strong on this map, just because you can set up on both sides of the map, and it becomes pretty difficult for, well, I don't want to say difficult. I feel like it just becomes a fight for map control on both sides.
Exactly. It's something that both players have to kind of wrestle with. And Cham, I don't know if you've seen his arms, but he's one to wrestle, Bobby. He's not he's willing to get down and dirty, especially with that. I think so. I think he's maybe been bumped up a little bit, and here he is for the Starlight Twinkles. It is Cham.
And in the top right hand corner for ABYDOS, this is Nightmare. Who
is it? Emil, Papi. Oh my god.
I think that for all the production things that we have going on with this tournament, that might be the first time we've seen that.
I think so. I think that's the first time we've had someone lagging in game, and if I'm not mistaken, was that TQL or TKL?
TQL.
QL. Okay, never mind. I was about to say I think that's the French caster, but never mind. The French caster is a K, not a Q, as we are getting back into this game. Whew. And yeah, hopefully any kind of issues do resolve themselves. I was just about to bring up something. All right. So for the CranKy Ducklings, the players, they're the Ducklings, right? For the Platinum Heroes, the players, they're the heroes, maybe you can call them. For Starlight Twinkle, what are they? Are they the Starlights, or are they the Twinkles?
The Tinklers.
The Tinklers? Yeah.
Did you see I put them as Moonlight Tinkle for the predictions this week?
I did. It was
Yeah.
It's beautiful. They'll water your lawn, Papi. They'll take care of you.
True. Yeah, I don't think you want to see that, but it is probably good for your lawn. It's good for lemon trees, If
is it good for lemon
trees, it's quite good for them, yeah.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it is.
Is that recommended?
I mean, I don't know who would recommend it, but I'm recommending it.
Oh my god. Okay.
Make sure it's your lemon tree. Don't go to if you're just walking down the street, going for a bit of a stroll, and you're in a different neighborhood and you walk past a lemon tree. I probably wouldn't advise to pee on their lemon tree and then tell them that you're doing them a favor.
Yeah, don't do it for free, like...
Yeah. It's like the lemonade stand, 10 cents sort of thing. But it's like pee on your lemons, 10 cents.
Have you ever seen a lemonade stand IRL before?
I think it's an American thing. I'm pretty sure it would be illegal here.
Yeah, like growing up, like you watch The Simpsons and stuff, and you see like in pop culture and stuff, like lemonade stand is like a
Yeah,
big thing, but that does not exist at all here in Australia.
or
Like,
like
never would anyone would we ever have anyone sell things out in the open.
the psychiatry stand in Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
It's like 5 cents for
Mhm.
psychiatry. Charlie Brown asks for help. She's just like, you're done, mate. You're smudging. It's over for you.
It's over, puppy. It's over. Go pee on a lemon tree.
Yeah, just get out of here.
That's all you can do for society now. Oh,
Okay.
smooch. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I remember. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I won't stop you. If you want to sell some lemonade.
Okay. You won't. The government will.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, as we sip on our lemonade and get ready for this game. So far, nothing too crazy has been going on. Hatch gas pool opener from Cham, Oracle opener from Nightmare, which I guess is important to point out. This time there is no Void Ray shenanigans going on from our Protoss player.
Yeah, he's just going for the most standard build here. So we are going to be seeing that Oracle dipping in, getting a nice crisp 4 drones, which is not like the end of the world for the Zerg player, but obviously not ideal either, especially if you are getting spores. Nightmare is going to be sending everything across the map, and Cham going for his own Ling run by. It looks like, is this defended at all? Okay, yes, there are a couple of depths. So this is going to bring at least one of those Oracles back home, and it looks like Cham's had a pretty good done a pretty good job of deflecting this, but no, the Queens are out of position. This is really nicely done by Nightmare.
Yeah, Queens are out of position. The Lings are not here to defend as well. 3 more drones go down. That is 7 in total so far. And Nightmare hasn't lost any units here. We do have a little bit of hull damage being dealt to these Adepts with the... Oh my god, we even have this Stasis Trap finishing up as well to just help protect those Adepts.
I think that was in vision, but that was very cute.
Yeah.
They do have the Adepts just threatening to keep going into that natural there. Looks like Nightmare did do a pretty good job here with that harass, especially keeping those units alive, keeping the Oracles relatively healthy. It's not amazing, but it's definitely better than losing them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially considering he's already killed those 7 workers. The Adepts survive, they make it back home. We can see Nightmare just getting into a standard setup into Blink Stalkers at Twilight Council. I don't know if we were able to throw down a Forge as the 4th base is going to be delayed. The Oracle's looking for some more damage, but maybe... No, there's no Spore! Up!
Yeah, looks like he did notice with that Adept Shade that there was no Spore at this base here, so he is going to be dipping and getting a bunch more damage. 7 drones going down. We do see that Oracle being uncooperative. I can see it now that I've played a bit of Protoss. Oracles don't fucking listen to you half the time. I don't know why. They're actually broken.
They're busted, puppy. They want to go off on their own. They just want to kill things, and I'm just...
You go attack this drone, and they go fly over it. Okay, and I go, oh, you must be out of energy, and it's like, nah, I just don't feel like attacking. Okay, I think Protoss players in the chat will understand what I'm talking about. Fellow Protoss players in the chat, let's go.
You need to be stern with your Oracles. You can't give them too much leeway, otherwise they get out of hand. Meanwhile, I also did recognize that there is no Forge. There's no +1. There's no more longevity here in this game for Nightmare. He's setting up a proxy gateway. I believe this is a 7 or 8K 3 base all in. Nightmare wants to end the game with pure gateway units.
Yeah, so Nightmare is just going to be setting up here, doing a great job as well, clearing out the creep in front of this proxy gate. That's going to be pretty important for the success of this push, and it is just going to be that Blink Stalker all in. So it's really nice for him as well that he's kept his Oracles mostly alive, because they can still throw down these stasis traps that are going to help a lot here.
Oh, but one of them does get baited out by those Lings. They do come in for a full surround as well on these Stalkers. We do have Roaches on the way right now. Cham just has to buy time for them.
Yeah, and these Stalkers, they are getting battered and bruised, so Nightmare getting the most that he can out of them, but also losing a lot of value there, and great Bane run by Cham when this is all going on. So Cham just being very fluid and flexible with the game state here.
Yeah, exactly. He's done a great job at crippling the economy here of Nightmare. Again, Nightmare is very committed with this army, but the Roaches have now arrived, and now Stalkers are slowly going down as well because they were injured earlier, but we're running out of Lings.
Yeah, these Stalkers are pretty heavily wounded, which means the Roaches are going to trade a lot better against them. It's going to be a really close one. The Blink Micro from Nightmare, good enough, and he's starting to shuffle those high health Stalkers towards the front. This is going to be a really close battle.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, roaches are falling left and right. These are expensive losses for Cham. The boys have to be pulled. Without those lings, the roaches, they just can't stand up against these stalkers. We can see so many of them are so low. At the same time, another bailing run by another mineral line goes down.
Yeah, beautiful stuff from Cham, just trying to get himself, keep himself in this game with those little extra bits of damage. Only loses 2 drones somehow at this base as well, but Nightmare's looking to end the game right here, right now. We are being forced to pull drones for Cham. That is going to help soak up a lot of these shots.
Yeah, it is very necessary here for Cham to try to keep these roaches alive, to get more hits in all these stalkers, but the blinks are still so damn good, and it looks like, once again, Cham is trying to force his way in, but he's running out of roaches.
Yeah, Nightmare's got quick hands there on the blink, and he is going to be able to push through, breaks all of the roaches, breaks the drones as well. GG is called, and Nightmare gets it done in the walk-in wardrobe. Let's go.
GG, well played. Nightmare takes the 2-0, as you were saying, a very solid execution of that build. Unfortunately, Cham just needed more time to gather up his gather up his forces, gather up his roaches and lings. Unfortunately, after he did get that surround with his lings initially, he was never able to build up a ling count high enough to really support his army, and yeah, we saw, on top of that, to be fair, Nightmare with just exquisite blink control.
Yeah, very nice blink control. I can see why Nightmare favors these kind of blink stalker aggression builds so much. Definitely a strong suit for him, and something that I think is pretty good in this matchup as well, if you think you're a little bit more mechanically skilled than your opponent. Cham did a great job with the Bane run bys, but
yeah,
I have to wonder if maybe, I don't know. I wonder if that really affects the outcome of the game that much. I feel like you do have to overwhelm the stalkers.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, shutting down the economy at the third base is nice and all, but as you were saying, like, your opponent's all in anyway. Like, do they care too much about their worker in WTL before? We saw him pop off a couple of weeks ago with his first big win. So he has it in him to kind of bring a win to the table. But again, he's still very inexperienced. He's still, you know, a younger up and comer.
Yeah, I think this E rating is not really accurate. It's probably more of a D to low C player, and I think we will be seeing that as he gets a bit more experienced and a bit more comfortable as well. He's not at the level of some of these like casters or team managers. He's a lot better than that.
Yeah, 100%. I do think that the E is a little bit harsh, and I think a lot of that is just because all of his lack of experience, and he does play in a lot of weekly tournaments, to be fair. He plays in like every Sparkling Tuna Cup, he plays in ESL Open Cups whenever he can as well, but he does struggle against, you know, some of these bigger names. That's the problem, is that when he ever signs up for these tournaments, he's like, round 1, Classic. Round 1, Jumiho. It's like,
Kyo or Dion or something, and it's just like, everyone loses to them. It's not really, it's not too indicative. Yeah.
Exactly. And he has beaten Nice in the best of 3 before. Like that did happen. We were able to cast that. It was really hype when he did it. I think it was like 2 months ago at this point, but he's done it before.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, Nice these days is a pretty consistent player. And yeah, here he is in the bottom left-hand corner for Starlight Twinkle. That was difficult. It is Nice.
And in the top right-hand corner for Team ABYDOS and all the waifus out there, it is Mondo.
Just like it's not Tinkle. That's what I say. What is it?
Oh my god. Is Mondo playing with one hand right now? Is that what's happening? Am I crazy? Isn't
that DRG?
Yeah, that's DRG. That's Dongwei Gu. Oh, we have the wrong cam on right now. I understand. So there's a Zoom call. And all the players are in there with their cams on, and we are showing the wrong person.
I think
we noticed. Yeah.
But it's like, man, this guy's like doing pretty well. He knows opening one-handed.
It's like he's playing with something else, Papi. Oh god.
No, his hands crazy. Right
there. Yeah. There it is. Yeah.
Do you reckon DRG can ride a bike with no handlebars?
I think he can do a lot of things with no hands, Papi. Oh, but there we go. Now with the correct cameras on. Fun. Do you want to know a fun fact?
Okay.
Older school players
hmm.
would know this. Um,
Oh, okay.
it's related. It's related to StarCraft.
Yeah. Go on.
DRG, he actually used to wear glasses back in the day, and then I want to say around Heart of the Swarm era, like 2015, 2016, he got LASIK. He got LASIK done, and he didn't need glasses anymore, and
Mm.
he looked so weird without them. Like I was just so used to watching him with glasses, and for him to not wear them, it was just so jarring. And then he started wearing glasses again, and in an interview, he was asked about it, and he said, I'm just used to wearing glasses. It just feels weird not to wear them anymore. So he's just wearing like
Yeah.
non-prescription glasses. Yeah.
Just like 3D glasses that punched out.
Exactly. He's not wearing frames without lenses, but like there's no like they're not like helping his eyes, you know.
Okay.
It's like your glasses.
My glasses have things.
That's true. You should wear them.
I don't need to. They're for faraway things, and I don't leave my house.
Ay. Okay, Papi, okay. Oh. But yeah, fun fact. JRG, he's done LASIK, but he's wearing glasses.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about role reversal, about
Mhm.
Nice kind of being the stronger player in this in this matchup, and likewise as Nightmare opened Void Ray, Nice is going to be opening with a Void Ray as well.
Yeah, Void Ray first here, and Nice, he can be a very unpredictable player. We've talked about it before, where he's kind of like absorbed some of the power of Haas, like some residual Haas was kind of picked up by Nice, and as a result, like he's willing to be a little bit more unorthodox whenever the time does arise, as we do have that first Void Ray hunting down Overlords. But unlike the previous Protoss player, we do have Nice going for the Oracle behind it.
Yeah, okay, so it looks like he's probably going to be going into more of a standard build out of this. I would love it if he does this again in the second game and goes for a Twilight build. I think it's really cool in these best of twos if you play two very similar builds or builds that look the same at the start and then branch out in different ways. Especially because, I mean, PvZ, most of the time when we see a best of two, we're going to be seeing one hero style game and one Glaives game. I feel like that's generally the way it goes.
100%. Like those are some of the more common and standard builds that we see in PvZ. There's a lot more variety, of course, but very we don't get to see it too often or too frequently, as we do have the Oracles diving on in. Bold Stasis Trap. Oh, actually doesn't connect with anything. I don't know if that was intentional.
Wait,
but
what?
Yeah. Let's go.
That was weird, but okay, props to Mondo. Despite the Void Ray being out on the map, he still gets the scout here, so really well done, and he's exactly what he's going up against.
Yeah. So the drone triggered the stasis, but it was able to dip into the gas geyser in time to avoid.
I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't think you could time it that well.
Yeah. Fun fact, there's another thing that you can do is you can actually trigger a stasis with a Ling without the stasis actually getting the Ling.
Yeah, you can run off the edge, right?
Yeah. You just have to have to edge. You just have to edge like you've never edged before, Papi, and you can trigger it. It's crazy.
There's a few tricks you can do. You can you can also do pickup, like even just with a Marine and a medevac, you can drop it and then pick it back up.
Yeah. I think I've seen like Gumiho or Beyond do that.
Yeah, you've seen AsherBro do that one on stream.
Nah, I haven't seen that. I don't think that happened.
To be fair, it was a pretty obvious one. Someone blocked my base with it, and I had to clear it up.
Oh my god, what an animal!
Well, yeah, because if you don't see it, it just stays blocked.
Yeah, true. Yeah. As you were saying, we're kind of getting into this. We do have a standard follow-up, but we do have a Dark Shrine being slipped in as well. So Nice is going to be mixing up his overall plan, his overall build. Going to be looking to try and catch Mondo's unawares.
Giving me ideas. I like this a lot.
Oh no.
As we do have a pretty heavy 3-base setup for Nice. He's throwing down a lot of gateways on these 3 bases. Throwing down a second robo as well. So looks like he's going to be going for potentially even a 3-base Colossus style play. with the amount of gateways that he has down, if he is constantly warping in off those, I don't think he's going to be getting a 4th Nexus anytime soon.
Yeah, like, especially considering how much tech he's invested in, right? With the DTs for
Yeah.
potential Archons, for the Bay as well. There's that 4th base, so he's going to be skipping some warp-ins, and he's going to be a little bit more defensive here, just building up a massive ground-based army.
Yeah, right. This is pretty odd the way that he's playing this. He's kind of going in a lot of different directions all at once, and I'm curious to see if the DTs are going to get anything done. As there we go, we have those 4 warped in, and I expect they'll be sent into all the different bases now and creating a bit of chaos for Mondo to deal with.
Yeah, and to be fair, they have to, because otherwise Mondo is going to have so much freedom in this game to drone on up. But here we go, the 4 DTs, or 3 of them at least, are headed towards that 3rd base location. There is no queen. Drones are going to be going down.
Yeah, these DTs could potentially get the spore. It looks like they're just going to back out of there, realizing there's not that much damage to be done. The fact that 4th is so under-droned as well, probably going to set off alarm bells for him. And there we go, cannons and batteries going down right away. So Nice does sense the danger, and he should be able to spot it as well with his Oracle.
And I love this. We do have Mondo going for basically an all-in. His cut workers at 66, and he's going to be catching Nice being so greedy. He's getting into double Colossi production. The Colossi aren't out yet, but they should be out in time for this first push.
Yeah, DT's getting snapped by the Ravagers as they run past him. This is going to be pretty scary for Nice. He does have 1 battery and cannon finishing up, and he's got the other battery to fall back on, but this is going to be real tight.
It really is. The overcharge buying some time. The 2 Colossi have popped out. I think they're at the natural. There we go. They're headed towards the main army as well, but they're looking exposed. There's nothing to protect them.
Yeah, the Ling's going to be getting on top of them. Ravagers as well. Oh, the Ling takes down one of those Colossus. Ravagers going to be pushing the rest back. We do have Biles going down, taking out the shield batteries as well. These Stalkers standing strong, but for how long? Looks like they are being whittled down now.
Yeah, and it looks like Mondo has broken the 3rd base. He gets on top of the 2nd Colossus as well, and that will go down. We have a Disruptor on the way, but it only just now pops out. The Nova goes off, and it misses. Ay, ay, ay. And Mondo, he's punishing the greed here of Nice.
Yeah, this is a beautiful timing by Mondo, and it works out really well with what Nice was actually doing, and Mondo just skyrocketing ahead in the supply. Nice down to only 50 probes here, and I don't really see an easy way for him to get back into this game, as the Disruptor goes down as well.
Oof, yeah, exactly. Now only game we used to defend. GG gets called,
and boy.
Mondo takes game number 1. Oh, it's Nice. Oh, he's gonna eat him. Oh, put him in, Papi. Put him in. Let's go. Oh,
for ya.
Oh, he tastes good, Papi. He's good. Oh.
That's the first proper celebration we've had in a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we had the celebration. I think the last one was Solar drinking coffee. But I think that was last season, or was that this season? I can't remember. It was Coffee. He's not playing in this season, actually. So yeah, that must have been last season.
Don't forget the Cure celebration by Cyan.
Oh, the Cure celebration! How could I? Were you here for the Cure celebration?
Yeah,
with the pills, Pop. With the pills.
You had the Cure. Yeah, that was that one. There was Mario Muling. I don't know if that's
that's not bad.
It's popping off.
The classic Terran pop-up, shaking my head. But GG, Mondo does take the first game. Obviously very happy with himself, but that was only the first game. Can he go the distance? Can he take the 2-0 here against Nice? I mentioned it before, he has beaten Nice in a best of 3 before in the ESL Open Cups. Can he beat him in a best of 2 here in WTL? He's almost there.
Yeah, that was a very odd game coming out from Nice, and I do think the stars aligned a little bit there in terms of Mondo's attack lining up so well, but I think it's fair to give him credit as well for seeing an opening there. But anyway, we are going to be having game 2 coming up on Altitude, and Nice going to be picking out a much larger map here, a map where something like that is going to be a little bit more difficult to pull off just because the bases are so separated from each other.
100%. I mean, this pick from Nice is very clearly telling us that Nice wants to survive. He wants to play some StarCraft. He doesn't want to die to any kind of 663 base all in from the Zerg. He wants to make it into a longer game, into a later game. We'll see if he can get there, and I'm sure Mondo is aware of the plan of Nice and is willing to adapt as well. Just because he went for this big committed push in game 1 doesn't mean that he's going to do that again.
Yeah, for sure. And meanwhile, for Nice, I'm kind of curious to see if there's something that he has prepared for this map. Whether it be, I feel like Glaives would be a bit weird just because it's such a large map, but I have seen like Archon drops before on this map, just to abuse the triangle base, especially if you can force them to take that.
Yeah, creator often does like Archon drops on this map as well, as you were saying. Just a good way to be aggressive, but also be a little bit greedy behind it as well, as we do typically tech up a little bit faster when we do go for something like that. So yeah, there's a lot of options available here. Too Nice on altitude. We'll see what he goes for. We'll see if he's able to fight back for his team. The other thing to bear in mind is that ABYDOS, they're one game away from taking the series 4-0. One game.
Yeah, it'd be such a nice feather in Mondo's cap if he was able to confirm the win for his team here, but we will have DRG having a couple more chances after this as well, so seems like it's pretty likely going to be an ABYDOS win here, but still all to play for.
Definitely. Also, while we have a little bit of time here, a massive shout out to Babylings as well in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. And welcome, everyone. Welcome to the World Team League. This is where the best teams in the world duke it out here in a competitive format. And we're nearing the end of the round robin group stage, but these matches are still important. They're still popping up, and yeah, we're still able to see, even up-and-coming players like Mondo make a name for themselves.
Yeah, and we were talking about it a little bit before. With Starlight Twinkle being so close to that 7th place zone, I do feel like if they don't win this one, I actually don't know if it's possible for them to make it through if they don't win this.
Yeah, exactly. Coming into tonight, it was possible, but after tonight, it may not be. As spawning in the top right-hand corner for Starlight Twinkle, it is Nice.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map for ABYDOS, this is Mondo.
Oh. Here we go. We're getting into that second game, and as we get into the second game, a massive shout out to the sponsors of World Team League. Shout out to Doyu, Hypergriff, TGI Fridays, Tidal, and Rio de Janeiro. Without all these lovely sponsors, the WTL, the World Team League, it wouldn't be a thing. Wouldn't be possible.
The observers get to have a bit of fun with it as well.
Yeah. Always. It's good. There's always at least once in a broadcast, so we have to zoom in. We have to pay our dues, Pat. Pay our dues.
Yeah, that's right. As Nice tips in here, it's going to be seeing that it's a standard build here, so nothing too untowards coming out from Mondo. It's just going to check where that 3rd is as well, and the 3rd is in the triangle like we're talking about, so if Nice does want to go for some kind of harassing build, whether that be Glaives or Archon drop or something like that, this triangle can be, the triangle to the main here can be very abusable just because it's such a long distance to go on land, but it's so close by air.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, because of that, we have seen things like Muta's work. We have seen even, Skytoss work as well as a result. So there is a lot of possibilities here available for our players. I don't think Mondo is really one to go for Mutas. I didn't really get into it in the first game, but Mondo is quite fond of the Demaga style of, like, 3-base saturation, just like Link Big Word Traveler, go. But that doesn't quite work anywhere near as well on altitude as we were kind of talking about coming into this.
Yeah, altitude's a much more defensible map, despite its openness all throughout the middle. Because there's so many ramps, because a lot of the ramps become quite narrow around the bases as well. It can be a bit more comfortable to defend on, especially if you've got something like early disruptors, which Nice was trying to go for relatively early disruptors in that last game, just got the timing a little bit off.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit. And I'm sure Nice is good enough to make up for that kind of weakness in his builds, or again adapt to his opponent. We'll see how it all does unfold. Once again, Nice is going to be going for a Stargate opener as to be expected. We'll see if he goes for a Void Ray again, or if he does focus on Oracle production instead.
Yeah, the Void Ray again into Glaze would be kind of cool, but yeah, it could be anything at this point. As the Void Ray going to be started up. Do we say the Twilight? Give it a try. Do it.
We'll keep an eye on the production tab. The Void Ray first. That's the first piece of the puzzle here. That's the first step on the way to something like Glaive Adepts. We actually have seen Glaive Adepts work on altitude before as well. I'm always going to remember Firefly versus Cham. I think Firefly versus Lambo as well, able to just catch them off guard on altitude with Glaive Adepts. We'll see if Nice is one to do so as the first Void Ray pops out. Still no Twilight Council.
Yeah, Oracle again. Looks like Nice. At least thus far going to be going for the same sort of thing. I mean, we talk about it sometimes. A lot of these pro gamers, especially if they're favored, do tend to be a bit stubborn with their builds, where if something doesn't work in the first game, because they can think of a few different reasons why it doesn't work and what adjustments they need to make, they'll often just go for it again and just make those small adjustments.
Yeah, and that may just be what Nice is looking to do. As he makes a second Void Ray. Bobby, I'm scared.
Yeah, this could be SkyToss.
No!
Alright, I'm out.
Hold me, Poppy, hold me. No.
Actually, I'm not out. I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna do this to
You're
you.
like, I'm not. I'm in, Poppy. I'm all in. Let's go. You disgust me. You disgust me, Poppy. You're a Protoss player now.
I'm not gonna do this to the poor people on the ladder, but I am gonna do it to you if I get you on that.
You're gonna become J-Dolph. You're gonna only mech me when we play.
Yeah.
But there's that second Stargate. There's +1 air attack on the way. For those wondering, that was the big sign, of course, that it was going to be SkyToss alongside the second Void Ray, of course. So yeah, this is a bit of an older school build, but it's something that you can pull off on a map like Altitude just because it is so large.
I could tell it was SkyToss from the distant crying of Zerg players. I could hear Raynor off in the distance being like, "You really gonna make me play this game?"
You heard it at the start of the game. You're like, what is that noise? Oh my god. But speaking of, the first Void Ray goes down, but we have a massive stasis trap going off in the main.
Yeah, both players getting stretched a little bit by the multitask. Nice, missing out on that, and Mondo, other way around. Mondo missing out on that. Nice. Not getting his Void Ray quite out of there in time. I do feel like those Void Rays, you have to be a little bit more careful with them. That's why we don't see harassment on bases that much. As oh my god, a third Stargate already. Oh yeah, okay. I've seen this in ladder games. I'm not sure why. Maybe I was watching Chappie's stream, but mass Void Ray on this map, especially with the fourth that Mondo's taking. I really don't like that the fourth that Mondo's taking here, because Void Ray's in the middle there, bouncing between those three bases. I don't think you can really deal with that without a Spire, and there we go. Spire does go down.
Yeah, it looks like finally we have recognized what has been going on. The Void Rays are about to reveal themselves here at the fourth base. The Queens are able to rotate in time, so the fourth should be saved. But as you were saying, if Nice can wedge himself in between the bases, he will have access to all three of them. But no, he is pushed away.
What is this stutter step? So sweaty, though.
Oh my god. I mean, mate, you got the spare APM when you're playing SkyToss. You gotta do something with it.
It's true. Keep yourself entertained. Just be like, this is a high skill build. Look, I'm doing things.
He's microing, Puppy. He's microing as he's continuing that Void Ray production. Now, even though we do have pure Void Ray, we're taking up in some other directions as well. We have the Robo being thrown down, so we're gonna be looking to support this army in some way, I imagine. Typically, pure SkyToss isn't the most ideal kind of unit composition, but there we go. Void Ray speed, it's on the way.
Ooh, Oracle dips in, gets a few extra kills, but Mondo actually reacting quite quickly to that. It looks like it was only the one, and yeah, Flux Veins is going to be on the way. Hard not to think of what Pig calls it, but I'm not going to go with that. As fourth space on the way as well. I'm like, oh, this is inappropriate. I can't say it. What is it? Tell me now. on air in front of all these people.
I genuinely don't know what he calls it, but you can tell me later. You can, when we're alone, Bobby, you can tell me. You can whisper it into my ear. Oh.
I will. As we do have all these corruptors being started up by Mondo here, so this does become a bit of a weird dance between the Void Rays and the corruptors, where the corruptors can pick off single Void Rays, but they have to be really careful that they're not getting into range, especially if the overcharge is popped on those Void Rays. Then melt corruptors so fast.
Yeah, like Void Rays at this critical mass of numbers, they can actually overwhelm Corruptors and Queens very handedly. Typically what we need against this is spellcasters, whether it's Infestors for Fungals or even Vipers for Parasitic Bombs. Usually it's the Parasitic Bombs that do well against this kind of high Void Ray count, but we're not there yet. We're still working with just Queens and just Corruptors.
Yeah, Corruptors sharking around here trying to get pick off spot. Yeah, as we were saying, the overcharge on the Void Rays, look how fast it kills those Corruptors. 3 going down in the blink of an eye, and Mondo has to be really careful about that. Looks like there still is a little bit left over, and Mondo caught not looking there for just a moment, and my goodness, so many of those Corruptors going down. That is painful losses.
Yeah, 6 Corruptors in total, and that is a lot of gas down the drain. Mondo struggling to rebuild his army, but no, he actually wants to be aggressive. He's moving out with his Corruptors, his Queens, and his Roaches. He wants to set up a creep highway.
Oh my god, the Overlord. Looks like the Overlord is just trying to distract the Void Rays, but he isn't able to fully commit to the fight, and a lot of these Corruptors going down. This feels really doomed already for Mondo. One Void Ray going to be going down, a second one going down as well, so a small miscontrol from Nice, but this honestly feels a little bit desperate from Mondo.
He needs the creep up. He needs the creep so he can transfuse. But before that happens, the first disruptor has arrived. Nova goes off, connecting with the Queens, and now they're being focused down by the Void Rays as well. As you were saying, this is a little bit haphazard by Mondo, but he can still make this work.
Yeah, fantastic choice, I think, there to commit onto the Queens. And there we go. We see Nice as well. Going to be using that overcharge to discourage the Corruptors from saving the Queens. Really clever stuff here. And, it looks like it's going to be a pretty comfortable hold from Nice. But the overcharge there, it is going to be running out.
The overcharge runs out. The prismatic alignment runs out as well. Oh, Nice! The hands are off the keyboard. He knows. Oh, my God. Wags his finger to the camera as well. No hands, Papi. No hands. Oh, the Void Ray, Papi.
Actually, I love that so much.
This is the power
really
of ABYDOS.
The rest of the game? Let's go.
Yeah, leading up to that fight, Mondo he was bleeding out too much, as we saw, right? Too many Corruptors, too many Queens going down before anything did happen. Nice, now it's to focus a little bit here on the fight, but it looks like these Void Rays, I mean, on their own, yeah, they're just... Hey, one-handed fight, that's all you need, one hand.
I love it. This is an honest SkyToss player right here.
Yeah,
I mean, if we saw this more in the SkyToss meta, maybe we would have seen those Void Ray nerfs a little bit earlier.
Yeah, maybe. I'm waiting for the moment, mate. Just take the second hand off as well. You don't need it, Papi. You don't need it. GG.
That's great. I love that.
Oh my God. No shame whatsoever. GG, well played there by Nice, whipping out the SkyToss, something that we don't see often enough. Or maybe we see too often, even as little as we do. As he does take a game here for his team, tying it up 1-1 and keeping Team ABYDOS in this series.
Yeah, and now we have a pretty tall task ahead of us for HHH. It feels weird to call him Triple H. Isn't that a wrestler?
Yeah, that's him.
Is that what he's named after?
I don't know. He is now.
He's lost a bit of muscle as he's aged, but
yeah. I mean, it happens, right? You know, he ended his career, you know, as a WWE wrestler, and now he's living his dream, going into the World Team League. And oh boy, this is, I believe, his debut here in the World Team League. But who better to go up against than another fellow player with only 3 letters as their ID?
What did Triple H do? Is he the one that did the DDT? I think he basically just like he pile drives their head into the ground or something. It sounds pretty dangerous now that I mention it.
I'm googling it because I know Triple H. Like I can see him in my brain, in my mind, but I don't know what his finishing move was. It's called apparently the pedigree. Is that what he does?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the one
yeah.
where okay, I do actually remember it. It's he puts their head face down in between his legs.
Yep.
And then he like holds their arms.
Jumps
back,
up. Yeah.
And then he just jumps up and like sits on their face. But violently.
He smashes them into the ground and sits on their face. But yeah. I mean, I would love to see Triple H up against Oliveira. Not gonna lie, but
True.
Yeah, he's gonna be coming in here looking to put DRG in between his legs. Let's go.
He's gonna have to as well. I think it's gonna have to be a very strong showing in game 1 because he has to win both of these games, and I believe this is his debut for World Team League as well.
Yeah, this is his debut. He's been on the team for quite some time. I mean, Starlight Twinkle actually have a pretty large roster, but, you know, typically he is overshadowed by the other Chinese players on Starlight Twinkle, players like Rewhite, players like Jollywa Loves as well. But Triple H, he's going to be coming in here, coming in prepared. I wonder if he is fond of camels, because as amazing as the pedigree is, we need it in combination with something else, with a bit of a camel maneuver, if you will.
No, you've lost me completely. You're gonna have to explain that one.
Because the starring camels have been popping off, Papi. They've been just causing so many upsets. That's where I'm coming at.
Okay. So I see what you're doing here. So we have the Team GP maneuver.
Yeah.
And you need like another team to name the maneuver of actually winning both games.
That's the thing, right? You got the Team GP maneuver, right? Which is where you win game 2, you know?
Okay.
But if you win game 1, then it's the starving camel maneuver, man. It's the
Okay. Yeah, I can get behind it.
We need to come up with a name though. Like, is it gonna be the starving camel maneuver, or is it gonna become something else? Like, is it
the pedigree?
He's not on the camels though. Triple H, he's a twinkle. He's a tinkle, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going.
Tell you what.
Please.
If Triple H, if he wins game 1, if he wins game 1, we'll call it the pedigree. All right, we'll call it the pedigree.
What if he wins game 1 and then loses game 2? Do we still call it the pedigree?
We can call it the degree, because it's like half a pedigree, you know?
Okay.
Oh god.
I'm sure that's gonna be a fantastic joke. It's definitely got potential.
Oh god. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Yeah, we'll see how he does here. Game 1 is going to be taking place on Neo Humanity, a bit of a smaller map, and it is going to open things up for some potential cheese if we have something crazy in store for DRG.
I don't really think of DRG as a very cheesy player. I guess I don't really think of most Zergs as cheesy players, except maybe like Ragnarok and Dark, but yeah, I feel like DRG plays pretty straight up and tries to get advantages in the mid game, but we'll see what he's going to do here against Triple H, who here he is at the top left of the map for Starlight Twinkle.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have representing Team ABYDOS. It is DRG.
Durg. He's got an anime lady upon his hatch.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen Triple H before now. I feel like I've seen this angle.
You've seen
now that I'm below him, I recognize him.
I remember, Papi. I remember looking up at him. Was it during a StarCraft match? Was it?
Sure. Why not?
Oh god. Well, I understand what you're saying. You know, this isn't the first time that we've been looking up at a pro player before. There have been other players with this angle. There have been other players.
It's probably what it looks like right before you get pedigreed.
You're not wrong, Papi. You're not wrong. Oh my god. But this is his debut. This is his debut. I don't know if you've maybe seen this angle in your own free time before.
In my dreams, yeah.
But it's his first. It's my first time at least. My first.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Let's hope it's a first that we'll remember.
I'm already gonna remember it. It's already. I like it, Poppy. I like it.
There's innuendos that you can build on, so you'll be keeping this one in memory.
Yeah.
These are the memories you save. I feel like it's like
it is. Yeah. I
important things just get kind of thrown off to the side, and then you're like innuendo from World Team League, core memory.
I mean, I mentioned it earlier. Another core memory. I'm gonna remember this. Is that Cham is a 69 now? Like
okay.
that's what I'm gonna think of when I think of Cham. The 69.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's not the most unflattering thing to be. I don't know where I'm going with this. Stargate going down for Triple H.
Is it not unflattering?
I have no idea. I'm not really sure. The more that I thought about it, the more I didn't want to think about it anymore.
Okay. As we're getting into this, and as you were saying, Triple H is just going for a standard Stargate opener here. We do have DRG slipping in with his first couple of links as well as Triple H moved out. And Triple H, he should be looking to try and minimize his losses here almost. This is one of those probes that does pull back in time. Oh!
Yes, neat micro, but does lose one of these probes. This was a very cute move by DRG to go for this. Just timing it as that first adept moved out. So getting a lot of distraction done with these lings, and that's meant that Triple H hasn't been able to do too much with this adept either.
Yeah, exactly. DRG just testing the multitasking as you were saying, and we saw a little bit of extra lost mining time as a result. So some great amount of damage done here so far by these two lings, and we'll see how Triple H is able to kind of bounce back a little bit from here. We do have that first Oracle on the way. No Void Ray shenanigans this time.
Yeah, looks like it's just going to be a little bit more straight up, a bit more of that standard Blink Oracle style that we are used to in this matchup that has become the norm. Yeah, Triple H is going to be getting that Nexus down at a pretty standard time here, and I'm kind of curious to see what he does from here. I think because it is such a small map, if you are going to play the style on this map, it would make sense to go for 3 base aggression.
Yeah, I would assume so as well. I mean, I just have to reiterate a little bit here that I'm a little bit surprised by how Triple H is playing. I assumed that we were going to be seeing something a little bit more crazy, like a Twilight Council into Glaives or a Stargate into Glaives or something like that, but no, he's playing pretty damn straight up here. He is making a third Oracle behind this, and I'm aware that there are many Protoss players out there that skip the third Oracle in favor of faster tech, but Triple H is at least committing to this.
Fair enough. I feel like I don't see that often. That might be a new development that I'm just blind to. I feel like you're the Protoss expert these days.
Yeah.
Your PvP knowledge, it's off the charts.
It's just true. I just know
it
what
actually is. I don't get it. I don't know why you know so much about PvP.
I cast a lot of it, Papi. It's yeah, more than any other matchup actually.
Right. It's all those EU cups.
It's the Korea Cups as well. This week, ESL Open Cup Asia. I think it was just like outside of the first round, it was pure PvP. It was crazy.
I did see the top 4 was all Protoss.
Yeah. I know.
I don't miss those things.
As we do see DRG throwing down a Baleen as he's making a massive flood of lings behind this as well, looking to try and punish that third base if possible. So a lot of aggression coming up from DRG, especially now that he has brought down those rocks.
Yeah, I vaguely recall seeing DRG do this last week. I think he was playing. Was it DRG versus? No, it wasn't World Team League. It was DRG versus Hearthstone in.
Yep.
DreamHack. And he was doing this aggressive Banebust sort of play when Hearthstone was being very greedy. So it looks like it is kind of his go-to skill check or greed check, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I believe it was on Babylon, if I'm not mistaken. But here we go. The Banelings are rolling on in. They will connect with the Adepts. The shield battery is depowered. The Oracles are going to be doing whatever they can. But as you're saying, the pylon did go down.
Yeah, pylon goes down. These Oracles are going to be dealing with the last few of these lings, but as much as they do get some decent damage, it looks like too many probes have gone down. DRG keeping the momentum going, having these queens coming in as well to deal with the oracles. It looks like there's just not really going to be anything on the ground to contest these queens.
Yeah, this third base has been broken here, and Triple H is going to have to try to hold on and pull off something off of only 2 bases. And is that going to be possible? We have Immortals on the way. We have Charge on the horizon alongside +1. But behind this, DRG is droning. He's just getting further and further ahead.
Okay, hear me out, though. Whenever you watch, like, WWE or wrestling or whatever, usually it's, like, really back and forth. Like, one of them, they fall over, and then they roll around for a bit and they're hurt. And then there's like this big crazy reversal and he does his finishing move and he like knocks the other guy out or whatever it is that they do in WWE. I reckon Triple H, he's got DRG right where he wants him right now.
Yeah, he's got him on the ropes, puppies. Or at least he
he's got like he's building up the plot armor right now.
Yeah. Exactly. He's building the storyline. You know, he's hyping up the crowd. He's getting them to cheer his name, Triple H. And with the power of the crowd, with the power of plot armor, he's going to be able to stand back up and get in between his legs, Poppy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
It would be crazy, but I do feel it's going to be near impossible for this set to get up.
Yeah, we can see DRG just rotating between the bases. Not just rotating between the bases, but look at the creep. The creep spread is out of control this game. It's more than halfway across the map. It is touching tips here with the natural base of Triple H. If it wasn't for that cannon, I mean, the creep would be all over him.
Yeah, it never feels too good when your static defense is taking out creep.
Yeah.
Especially this early in the game.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. We can see the creep is actually covering the gateways. So the observer likes it, Bobby. Oh, he likes it. It's creeping on him.
They should have that as a skin. It's like creeped out Protoss.
Yeah. And ironic, is it not an infested Terran skin? And if not, why? Why is there not an infested Terran skin?
That would be cool. I feel like they were very cautious with the skins to make them still readable. But yeah, I mean, if we can have a community patch, no, we won't have community skins. Blizzard be like, oh, we can monetize that, and we'll be like, oh, so you want to monetize it? No, we just don't want you to monetize.
I like how as soon as you said community patch, you realize what you'd said, and you're like, no, it's not. what am I saying right now?
It's worth money. It's not going to happen.
As Lingbane rolls on forward here, crashing into everything inside. The close side doing what he can to hold the line, but oh my god, the Banelings do connect.
Yeah, the Banelings just evaporate everything on the ground. DRG going to be forcing his way through this narrow choke here, through the gold minerals, and it just does not matter. GG is called.
GG, well played. DRG does take game number 1 here in a pretty convincing fashion. But that was merely game number 1. We still have another game ahead of us. The other thing I should mention as well, actually, is that with that win, Team ABYDOS will take the series.
Yeah, there we go. So ABYDOS locks that series in. Little bit unfortunate there for Starlight Twinkle. I do think there's not going to be many scenarios anymore where even if they win the next 2 matches that they go through. But yeah, they put in a good showing, this team league. Cham especially has looked really fantastic. Cham and Nice been putting in some really good performances.
100%. You know, Starlight Twinkle, they did fight their hearts out, and even before them, when Spirit was representing them, you know, they were doing relatively well as well. But as you're saying, with the loss here today, I believe that does mean that they are not going to be able to make it in. We don't really know the exact numbers on that, but well, I guess we'll get some confirmation as the day does progress. But we're not done yet. Triple H is still going to be playing out game number 2, and it is going to be his map of choice.
Okay, and he's picked out Grassvan here. So he does want a bit of a flatter map, a bit of a map with more room to work with. So based on that, I'm expecting to see that same style once again. But it should be quite a bit easier to make it work.
Yeah, it should be. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner on Grass 1 for Starlight Twinkle. It is Triple H.
And in the top left-hand corner for ABYDOS, this is DRG.
DRG, arguably the new or the replacement ace player here in the absence of Cure. It's hard to say. Like ABYDOS, they have such a solid lineup. You know, they got Nightmare, DRG, and Creator as well. Hard to say like who would be stepping up once or now that Cure has stepped away for at least a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like out of those three, I do think Creator's probably the strongest player, but I mean, he's not here today, so
True.
The boys will play.
Exactly. I was actually going to bring this up earlier. I kind of like the idea for the winner screen, especially if they do have all the players in the Zoom call right now and they actually can see them all. It would be pretty cool to like to show off like everyone popping off. Like that would require everyone to actually, but like if they do,
have the cameras
it would be
on
cool.
still.
Yeah. To like for the winner screen, you show the camera of like I don't know, DRG winning, but also like of like Mondo or like Creator like cheering for him or something like that as well. Like I don't know, that'd be sick.
Or kind of like a like Final Fantasy or something where you win a battle and then you have like the other guys in the background. They're like spinning the swords and they're like doing a little dance, fist pumping in the air.
That's such an old reference because that doesn't happen in modern Final Fantasy games anymore. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Hey, that reminds me, actually, I haven't had a look at anything to do with Final Fantasy 16. That came out a few days ago.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it.
It looks great.
Yeah, I've been avoiding it just because like I'm gonna have to avoid it for a year because it's gonna take a year for it to come out on PC. But when it does, I'll play it.
Okay, cool.
Didn't know it's a PlayStation exclusive. It's like a timed exclusive.
Oh, is it? Oh, it won't come out straight away on PC. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. They did the same thing with Final Fantasy 15, where it was a year later where it came out on Steam.
A year later.
Yeah.
That's Sony money.
True, Poppy. True. I think they did the same thing with Spider-Man, the Spider-Man game.
Did you finish that? You finished the main game, right?
We didn't need to talk about this.
You didn't finish the main game?
No, I finished the main game.
DLC
yeah.
Well,
I'm done. Yeah, don't the DLC. I have to.
You're gonna be like, I have to finish every little side mission, and I have to collect all the
I have been 100%ing it. I have to collect
the spider shrines.
Yeah. Oh god! Why? Look, the spider shrines. They buff you, Poppy. What do you want from me? What do you want?
Okay.
I gotta collect them all.
Understand.
All 151.
As we're saying, HHH he got the memo. He knows about the Void Ray. He knows that if you're gonna here's the second Void Ray. Maybe he was watching that last game.
Yeah, I mean, he's teammates with Nice. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we had a little bit of a break in between the two matches. Not gonna lie, it's possible that Nice slid into the DMs and he's like, mate. Oh, never mind. He's gonna use both hands.
Okay, so he's gonna show 2 Void Rays.
Yeah.
Which looks a lot like Skytoss. I would love this as well if he faked out +1 on the core.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be, because I'm sure DRG is going to be checking with his lings. For those wondering, we have a massive game explosion. This is going to be a 2-base all-in coming out from Triple H, and he's hiding it as best he can with these 2 Void Rays. We'll see if he's going to be successful in doing so. We still have a couple of Overlords out on the map. Oh, it's going to be... He pulled out a gas! Oh.
He is going to be able to take his hands off the keyboard after all.
Yeah. He pulled out, Poppy. He pulled out, and as you're saying, I think this is going to be an 8-gate charge all in. I haven't quite scouted all of it, but I've seen all of it. But we do have that Overlord somehow slipping into the main. The Void Rays, they don't quite catch it.
The scout, there's 2 Void Rays, and their one job here was to deny the scouting, and it looks like there's actually 2 Overlords in position to get the scout here. This Overlord in particular is going to be able to see everything here. Sees that Stargate is not building anymore, sees the robo, sees the extra gates. DRG has everything he needs to know, and that's really good for him because he was going for an early layer, getting a lot of gases as well. He is woefully underprepared.
He was woefully underprepared. He also confirms the lack of mining on the gas geysers as well, so he knows 100% that it is a charge all in. Now he's getting ready. We have spines on the way. We have roaches on the way as well. Now, even though this has been scouted, it's still possible that Triple H can pull this off. It's just a little bit more unlikely as, yeah, GRG is just amassing an army as we speak.
GRG was buying this. If we had denial on those overlords, I actually think this would have worked.
Yeah. Exclamation mark. Not of these void rays for not doing the one job that they had. The roaches are now in position. We have a concave, we have the queens, we have the spines finishing up as well. Yeah,
really beautiful SimCity from DRG. I love the way that he's prepared for this.
Yeah, exactly. Just reducing surface area, making it that much more awkward for these Zelts to make it on through. The Zelts are being cleaned up. We even have some target firing on the void rays.
Yeah, great target fire with the queens and the roaches forming a wall in front of them to protect from the void rays. HHH going to be denied from getting that extra warp in as well, and every moment they are going to be counting. I mean, DRG has more roaches than he has zealots. He should be in just a fantastic spot here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he was setting up for the pedigree. He was getting him in between his legs, but there was an accident in the execution, and he got
DRG
hurt.
He just stood up. He flung him over his head.
He stood up, and the classic spirit maneuver, DRG just turning off his cam as soon as the game ends. GG, well played. DRG takes the 2-0, and ABYDOS, again, just secure their victory here with a 5-1 against Starlight Twinkle.
Yeah, 5-1 victory, the only match on the side of Starlight Twinkle in the end. Going to be Nice's hands-free pop-off.
Yeah, the triple Stargate mass void ray sky toss. Oh, it's beautiful. He didn't even have carriers. Didn't even need them, mate. Didn't even need them.
Didn't even get there. Didn't let it get there.
Yeah. But a great series nonetheless. Congratulations.